Damn, man. I know that the budget was a little tight, but this is the best y'all could do with these wigs? For real? Blacula is a 1972 blaxploitation horror film directed by William Crane and stars William Marshall. On a small budget of $500,000, the film grossed $1.98 million at the box office. Damn, we couldn't even just give them the two. You know, nah. They grossed $2 million. That's what I'm saying. Taking place predominantly in the 70s, the story follows an 18th century African prince named Mama Walde, who was turned into a vampire by Count Dracula, waking up over a century later and coming across a woman who resembles his past wife. This was the first black vampire to ever appear on the silver screen, but not just that, it was also a big inspiration, and it birthed this entire wave of blaxploitation horror films such as Blackenstein, Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde, Abby, and Sugar Hill. I officially opened my Patreon a month ago. By the way, I usually plug this at the end. The only reason I'm bringing it up now, which, you know, by the way, I don't like when people do that. Like, damn, Slim, I'm 2 minutes in the video. You talking about some damn Patreon. Like, what's on my plate? Where my meat at? What are you giving me? Right? But I bring this up in the beginning because this is the first video that was picked by my patrons. I've decided to allow them to help me decide on one video a month. Aside of that, you get the director's cuts, all the videos are extended, access to my hidden playlist, and best of all, you get to see these essays 24 to 48 hours before it hits the public. Don't be shy. Join us. I have no idea when the first time I watched this was. I hardly remembered anything about it. I knew that I enjoyed it though, okay? So it was quite fun to revisit this, and I'm excited to walk through this again with you. I don't talk about blaxploitation films enough on here. Truck Turner has been, which came out in '74, that has been on the board for months solely for the character of Dorinda.
Come here, you little black bitch. But your ass belongs to me. I tell you what you can and can't do with it. Those two bitches that left, they better learn to sell in Iceland, because if I ever see them again, I'm gonna cut their throats.
So get your ass up out that coffin and head over to your closet and grab your fly 70s get down. Or if you ain't got nothing in your closet, go hit up one of your grandparents' closets and let's go suck some blood, sucker. Cause the sun doesn't come up for another few hours, and we've got some prowling to do. The film opens up on a stormy night in Transylvania, 1780, at Castle Dracula. We jump right into conversation with this white man who has had 30,000 film adaptations at this point. You know, it's Count Dracula, and he's got two guests over, Mama Walde and his African princess, Luva. Mama Walde is here as a diplomat, seeking assistance from Dracula to end the Atlantic slave trade. And right off the bat, Dracula says, "I can't do that. Slavery has merit." Merit? Mama Walde scoffs, "Oh, so you find merit in barbarity."
Barbarous from the standpoint of a slave, perhaps. Delightful from mine. I would willingly pay for so beautiful an addition to my household as your delicious wife.
This is crazy. I don't know how I would have reacted. I probably would have broke the fourth wall and looked over at the camera like, did this just really say this? Dracula says he means no insult because it's quite a compliment for a man of his stature to look with desire on one of your color.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Before Mama Walde crashes out, he excuses himself and his princess, calling the Count's cognac just as distasteful as his manners. Dracula and his smart-ass mouth say, "Well, let us not forget it is you who comes from the jungle." Oh! Beat his ass, Mama Walde. Beat his ass! The Count snaps his finger where two henchmen come snatch these colored guests, but Mama Walde flicks them off like a bug, battling one of them, throwing this sucker across the table, and the Count snatches Luva. Lord! When a third guard comes in, Dracula swoops out the room. They all grab Mamu and knock him unconscious. There are now an entire swarm of these raggedy-ass vampires. Girl, the budget was low in it. And they all start hissing, and then they run to the princess, taking her away. Dracula goes up to Mama Walde and then bites him. Cut to a back room where the Count goes into a monologue about the curse he is to bestow upon our bronze protagonist. A hunger, a wild, knowing animal hunger will grow, the hunger for human blood. You will starve for an eternity, torn by an unquenchable lust. I curse you with my name. You shall be
Blacula.
He slams and locks the coffin as the princess cries. This is so f***ed. Dracula tells Luva that she is to sit in this room with her man who was locked up in this coffin, helpless and dying until all of the flesh rots from her bones. Sick. A groovy tune comes in with our title card. How interesting, the title card starts on the black side of this image and then it moves into the white. Yeah, you think you slick. I caught that. We're now in present day Transylvania, where these two gay men, Bobby and Billy, are talking to this older gentleman to buy some antiques from Dracula's castle. Bobby and Billy are very much, you know, in their kikiing. You know, they think that all this shit is fun, is cute, is camp, you know, and the seller is telling them, bestie, no, this is real. But as far as the gays are concerned, just like many of the humans we are going to meet in this film, this is all mythology and movies. Bobby asks if this joint has any hidden passage rooms, and they enter where Mama Walde was placed. The buyers ask if the coffin comes with their deal, and hey look, the seller don't give a f. So we fade to a shipping dock and see that cursed coffin being shipped out this mug from the port of LA and brought into town. We're at the Andrews Brothers warehouse, where Billy can't contain his excitement to tag all these goodies because they are gonna be so rich, honey. Bobby unlocks Mamu's coffin, immediately stepping away because Billy cut himself while he was trying to bang open another piece they got. And as Bobby grabs a bandage to wrap his roommate's arm, that coffin starts opening, and the Dark Prince has risen. With his bushy eyebrows and dirty face, Blacula steps out the coffin and approaches the two men. And what's funny is that they don't even scream or react. They just stand there in place. Blacula grabs Billy's arm, seeing that blood, then throws Bobby out the way. Billy's screaming for Bobby, and Blacula starts nibbling on some white meat. Bobby grabs a wood plank and smashes it on Blacula's back, but that does nothing. Then bro smacks this homo 10 feet away. He's struggling to run away, screaming, "No!" And Blacula snatches him up and strangles him, biting his neck. Damn, now we killed the gays first. Blacula picks up this nice cape, a nice gown, if you will.
Great gowns, beautiful gowns.
And he briefly hears the Count's voice in his head from all those years ago saying that, you know, he curses him with his name.
Blacula.
So you think, you know, homie just got a fresh new cape, or, you know, a pimpin'. You think he's about to hit the town, but he just gets back in the coffin and starts cackling. Cut to a funeral home where Bobby's body lies in a coffin and Blacula's observing him from these curtains. What the hell? I have so many questions. How did he know where to go? How did he, you know? And not Bobby's hand moving. This nigga's alive! A group of people come in to view Bobby's body, led by funeral director Mr. Swenson. One of them is wearing this purple cloak, looking like Raven from Teen Titans. Oh, that's some fly shit. I gotta add that to my card. Hold on. This is Tina, Dr. Gordon Thomas, and Michelle. Tina and Michelle are sisters, and Michelle and Gordon are married. Tina asks why Bobby's hand is out, you know, asking the real questions, and Tilda Swinton says it's a reflex. No, girl, his hand is in a fixed position. It's not flopped over. No, it's placed. Per Bobby's mother's request, his body hasn't been embalmed yet, so Swenson moves his arm back and then leaves these people be. Both Tina and Michelle have known Bobby since they were kids, and when Tina takes her hood off, it's Luva! Well, not like same actress, different character. Blacula says Luva's name to himself, so uh-oh, it's set in stone. I put a spell on you. What's up? What's up? Because you're mine. Gordon tells the ladies to hit up Bobby's mother's house and he'll stay here. Again, now, you know, you think you know what's gonna happen, you think it's about to go down. Especially when we see a hand hover over the doctor's shoulder. But y'all not fooling nobody, because when I saw the hand and I was looking at the watch, I was like, hold on, where did Blacula get this ice from? Gordon gives Swenson his card saying he's part of the scientific investigation division and not just being nosy for funsies. Then starts asking the director about the bites on Bobby's neck. Swenson says that it's a rat bite. What rat is biting a human's neck? And not only that, it's 2 to 3 inches deep. Gordon pulls out his glasses, getting a closer look, and points out how Bob's veins are completely empty and wouldn't be this color unless he lost a lot of blood. Now, as far as who brought Bobby's body in this funeral home, it was Tilda Swinton, who, you know, picked it up from the coroner's office. But you know who he didn't pick up? So messed up. he didn't grab Billy. Damn, Swinson said Black Lives Matter. Gordon heads out and Swinson's right on his tail saying, "Oh yes, anytime, doctor. Anything you need, doctor. You just give me a call, doctor." But Gordon just slams the door, paying him no mind.
That is the rudest nigga I've ever seen in my life.
On the way to Miss McCoy's house, Tina tells Michelle she's not feeling well and heads home on her own. I hope you got a gun in that purse, mama, or something wooden. Tina Snow can definitely feel something is off and like somebody's watching her. Side note, these shoes are everything. I'm sorry, madam. My gay ass. I'm like, wait, she ate. Hold on. Matter of fact, the entire outfit is a hit for me, okay? Once she hears a trash can fall in the distance, my girl is out. Mama Walde's calling for his princess saying, "Luva, Luva, it's me." And Tina dips out as this exploitation music picks up. And she runs down the street through a tunnel, dropping her purse, but then leaves it. She literally turned around saw her drop the purse. She kept running. Mamu picks up the purse, following her tracks, and gets hit by a damn taxi. What the hell? The taxi woman, Juanita, hops out the whip asking where he came from. "Is you all right? What the hell you running in front of my BMW like that for?" Juanita starts getting smart with him, and when Mamu goes bug-eyed, pulling out the fang, she starts backtracking. But his makeup has completely changed. Oh girl, you better run. Blacula is here, and he grabs this cabbie's face and bites her neck. Tina Snow realizes she doesn't have her house key because, you know, you left your purse on the ground. But don't worry, she gets inside because she's got a secondary key hidden. She tries to catch her breath when inside, and not even 30 seconds later, somebody starts pounding on her door, so she grabs a big chef knife. Come on, final girl. It's just Sissy Michelle though. She's asking Tina what happened, and my girl is sweating up a storm, saying that this man attacked her. He's got her keys, her ID. Child, what the hell we gonna do? Blacula returns to his coffin, tired as hell, bones probably aching from getting smacked by that banana car. But hey, he got Tina's purse. Look at him smiling to himself. He says, "Well, to be continued. We'll try again tomorrow night." The next morning, Dr. Gordon hits up a police station to see Sam, a mortician, about Juanita Jones. What the hell? Sam has a hook for a hand. Okay, Candyman.
Be my victim.
This Juanita chick is not dead, but the way we literally see her feet moving and her throat, yet Gordon isn't reacting, is taking me out. Cut to Gordon telling Lieutenant Jack that he's the one responsible for losing the report on the bodies of Bobby and Billy. Jack calls in a woman named Maureen, asking her to fetch the division reports on the 2 fudge packers from 2 nights ago. But when Maureen Prescott returns, she drops the nuke that the division said the reports were lost before distribution. Gordon rightfully laughs, saying, "It's strange how so many sloppy police jobs involve black victims."
Isn't that fucking funny?
He requests Jack off to relay the message of bringing the reports to the club tonight. It's Michelle's birthday. Tilda Swinton gets a call from Gordon, who says they're going to do an autopsy on Bobby's body and send for him this afternoon. But Swinton says that's impossible, Mr. Negro, because the family's here now and he can't just throw them out. They close this joint at 8 p.m. so Gordon says he'll have his men there a bit after 8. Michelle updates Gordon about Tina being hassled by some man on the highway home. Po baby didn't even go to work today. And they plan on having the locks changed because the killer has her purse. We go to this nightclub where these 3 black superstars are performing with a white band behind them. I'd argue it's more common to see the opposite. So funny. This movie's so pro-black. I love it. And for a quick second, you can see this woman with jeans on that have this pattern around the knees, and it flew by so fast that I thought sis was wearing jeans that were ripped at the knee and thought she time traveled to the 2010s. Mama Walde enters the building, handing a woman a card, who grabs Tina, and the vampire respectfully gives his reincarnated princess her purse back. Such a gentleman. And look at this. Tina is nice enough to invite Mamu over to their table, introducing her sister and Sissy's husband, Dr. Gordon. Not only is he a gentleman, Mamu Walde is a man of class. When the waitress comes by the table, he orders a not a glass, he ordered a bottle of French champagne. I mean, come on, you know, give it up, give it up. He tells Tina she resembles his wife from long ago, and when Tina left the mortuary, he had to follow her, not considering that he might frighten her. They all ask Mama Walde if he was a friend of Bobby's, and he's like, no, I was there making some arrangements of my own, but, you know, enough about death. Here's, you know, grabbing his champagne glass, here's to life. Happy birthday, Michelle, turn up, ho! So while this gang's at the club drinking French champagne and celebrating life, Tilda Swinton lifts up Bobby's casket, and it's empty! Oh. We have a problem now. The pigs beside him are just as confused as he is. Swenson calls Gordon to let him know the body's gone, so Gordon lets him know that he's on the way, then rushes to the table announcing Bobby Brown's corpse has vanished. Mama Walde suggests that, you know, maybe he's not actually dead, and Gordon's like, what do you mean by that?
Just a passing thought.
We meet a man named Skillet who says, what's happening? To Mama Walde, grabbing the chair and pouring himself a glass of French champagne.
No.
See, don't nothing piss me off more than a freeloader. You broke ass Negro. We meet a woman named Nancy who's taking pics of the porty. Look at Mama Walde getting nervous, sweating up a stone, ain't it? Every time a flash goes off, he's jumping, boy. He briskly excuses himself, and after his boo runs after him, Mama Walde asks if she'll meet Daddy here tomorrow evening because he needs very much to see her again. And she agrees. Nancy takes another pic as the vampire kisses the princess's hand. We all know how that picture's gonna turn out. Tina's gonna be looking crazy. And Mama Walde runs out just as Nancy announces she's gonna run over to the studio, develop the pictures, and be right back. Ah, yes, the classic, I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back.
Now, this studio resides inside Nancy's home. She closes the curtains under the red light and starts developing the shots with a soft pop instrumental playing in the living room, when suddenly, we see a door open. At first, she hears a floorboard creak and barely reacts. You done lost your damn mind. You should know every sound, creak, cranny of your own house. Yeah. She briefly checks outside the studio and doesn't see anything, but then we see a shadow the same time as Nancy discovers Mama Walde missing in the shot she took. So sis is starting to get goosebumps. Blacula scoops her yummy ass up and bites her neck, crumbling the photograph in hand. A police officer pulls up to the street just as Nancy comes walking out her house, dropping on the porch, crying for help. Damn cop asking, what happened, my chocolate princess? And picks her up to take her back in the house. Yo, the whole town is gonna turn into vampires at this point. Sinners. Gordon visits Jack again. Although Barnes was sent over to the club with it last night, according to Jack, my brother in Christ didn't get nada. So Jack dials Maureen and orders her to grab Barnes so he can crack some skulls. Jack off tells Gordon there were no fingerprints and no signs of breaking and entering.
Who the hell would want a dead
You gotta love older films, man. What Gordon asks next is crazy, son. He asks if he can get permission to dig up Billy's body so he can do his own autopsy. And although Jack caves, making a couple phone calls, he tells Gordon later on he couldn't get the green light. Gordon's got Michelle sitting on his lap, and he's got some news to tell her.
We're gonna dig up Billy's body.
At this point, everybody around him thinks he's crazy. You know, you talking about ghouls, vampires, ghosts, and now you want to disturb the deceased?
We're gonna have to do it tonight.
You ain't getting this nigga no graveyard tonight.
And okay? Michelle continuously says no, but all her man gotta do is plant kisses on her and she folds.
Weak.
Gordon's eyes laser on a book that's on the table called The Dead Ones. So Mr. Thomas doing some research. Mama Walde knocks on Tina's apartment, which I'm just realizing is number 211. Come on, Brandy album. Anyway, Mama Walde couldn't wait long enough to meet Tina Snow at the club, so he showed up at her crib. Let's get right down to it. You know, Tina tells this dark prince before her, I'm so into you, I can barely breathe. Mama Walde calls her his wife, and she is confusion because what is you talking about, daddy? We just met. But she's touching all up on him saying, help me and I'll try to understand. So the vampire tells this woman about his lore. The two of them are the Ibani tribe, northeast of the Niger Delta. Their people are renowned hunters. Almost 2 centuries ago, the ruling elders of his people sent him and his bride to Europe on a mission to protest the slave trade. Mama Walde tells her all about the curse that the count has put on him, and of course she's like, LOL, those are fairy tales. He says the count is as real as she is and his need for her.
You are my Louvre recreated.
I gotta be so f***ing honest with you guys right here. If we were not following Mama Walde's POV, for example, if we were just following Tina this entire time and this man just showed up in a cape, we would all think this was crazy. Like, let's cut the shit. Okay. QQ banana. I don't care who you are, man, woman, non-binary. Switch the genders up, whatever. But just put yourself in the situation. If a love interest came into your life wearing a goddamn cape and told you they were turned by Count Drac, would you believe them? Comment down below, everybody. Mama Walde wants Tina Turner to rejoin him, but she can't. So he makes it crystal that she must come freely to him, or not at all, because he refuses to take her by force. Again, like a real Man. So Mama Walde says he won't return and heads for the door.
I've lived again to lose you twice.
You know she can't resist. Tina tells Big Daddy to stay with her and they start making out. Oh my God, like, look at him smiling all happy. I'm just so happy for him. You know, like the big homie, he's been through a lot. Gordon and Michelle are in this goddamn graveyard. All of Michelle's outfits up to this point were a hit, but I don't know what the hell this is right here, okay? Anyhow, Gordon finally finds the casket. Gordon pops this corpse in the jaw, then whacks him with the shovel 2 times, taking out a wooden stake he had in his pocket and then stabs the body, jamming the shovel down deeper. Michelle screaming, "No, no, no, don't kill him." Girl, that Caucasian was already dead. Gordon starts to remember the cab driver, Juanita Jones, and how she's got to be a bloodsucker too. So he yanks Michelle up and they drive to the nearest payphone. Sam answers and Gordon orders him to take Juanita's body out the deep freeze because he needs her warm. But Gordon specifically tells Sam that when he leaves the room, make sure to lock the door. The couple ride off to Jackoff's house where Michelle's dropped off to stay with the lieutenant's wife. Baby, Juanita's body is defrosting a little too quick for me. The pigs are on their way to the morgue just as Sam's phone rings. By the way, he didn't follow direction and lock the door because the phone had rung prior to it ringing just now and he was distracted. These creepy bells start playing as Juanita's body rises up, heavy breathing, and this girl dips out the room hollering and runs straight for the camera. Best shot in the film, if you ask me. Tina is dickmatized, okay, because Mama Walde's trying to head out, but she keeps pulling him back. Every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back. Oh, I know it was good. It was good, wasn't it? Tina saying she's scared to turn to the dark side, and Daddy promises it won't be painful. But we shall continue this conversation another night because it's almost daylight. Boo Bear and, this gangsta about to turn into gas.
I love you.
I done told y'all this nigga laid it down. This nigga laid it down. Gordon and Jack are screaming for Sam, finding blood on the wall. Oh yeah, he gone. Gordon has this huge cross he holds up to her and she starts yodeling back into a corner where the dawn sunlight shines through the shades and wipes out our favorite yellow cab driver. I guess the budget was a little too low for special effects, so they just had her drop on the ground and die. The cops are trying to figure out what to do and propose swamping the city with popo cars on every corner. They even do this silly ass drawing of Blacula before Gordon says that he's got some business to take care of. That night, the trio are back out at the club and Tina is feeling very Robin Thicke Lost Without You, but her face lights up when she sees Mama Walde walk in. On brand, he orders a Bloody Mary when a server comes by and Gordon gets right to biz asking Mama Walde if he's into the occult. You know, witchcraft, voodoo, devil worship. Mama Walde says we as a society cannot ignore what the world characterizes as the black arts. Layers to that, black arts, period. And personally thinks there's some truth in all of it. He chewed. When Michelle asks what he thinks of bloodsuckers, our vampire calls them, the most fascinating of all.
Do you believe they exist?
Does the devil exist?
After Gordon reveals they found a coffin and a citywide search is currently undergoing, Mamu giggles and says the modern vampire doesn't require a coffin. You silly bitch. The hottest man in the club gets up excusing himself and Tina follows, but Sissy is trying to get her to stay. And one thing about Miss TT, baby, she is in love. She is in love. Oh yeah, sometime between this, Skillet's freeloading ass joined the table. Luckily, there was no European wine for him to mooch off of. But he calls Mama Walde a strange dude saying, "Man, Mama Walde ran off me the other night, boy, just how we did old Nancy." Nancy realizes, wait a minute, not only has that trick disappeared, but she ain't bring back my damn birthday pictures. I ain't mad at you, Michelle. You took a picture of me in my fly ass outfit on my birthday. Not birthday, but my birthday. And won't give me the snapshots. It's the 70s. I don't have an iPhone in my photo gallery. Run me. That same night, Gordon goes inside Nancy's studio looking for clues and he finds a negative of the pic with Tina by herself. And it's when Gordy realizes Tina Snow is with him that he rushes off. Jump to Tina's and she's asking her black prince why he's so blasé about all the occult questions. What's going on with that, Cupcake? Mama Walde says, "They mean nothing to me. No one matters but you." And Tina's exclaiming, "Oh, hold me. Just hold me." Mama Walde asks Tina to come with him tonight. Right as Gordy arrives, how did he get in there that fast? This motherfucker teleporting. Gordon charges at Mama Walde, who snatches him up and slaps him onto the couch, dipping out, booking across the street, but fuck. fuck? These two cops see a black man running, so of course that means let's chase him. One of the cops go into an alley finding Blacula in full form, and he starts blasting the vampire but gets choked up against the brick wall and is later found by his buddy and Gordy. Gordon finds Jack and they tell Tina her dark prince killed a cop. So now poor baby is bursting into tears because they gonna kill Sugar Bear. The plan's for them to wait it out because vampires have to return to their coffins before daylight, obviously. We cut and see Bobby Boo strutting down the road and these two cops who were cruising saying,
Hey, Danny, take a look at that back. Isn't that the one?
How can you tell? They all look alike.
I'ma smack one of you bitches. I'm telling y'all, go ahead. Go ahead with your bullshit.
The pigs ring for Jack telling him they found Bobby, so the swirlers head out and Gordon tells Michelle to keep Tina rested. They'll send someone over to watch the apartment and he also gives her the cross he used against Juanita. Our Bobby was cruising for some peen, it seems, and the two pigs lose him. Jack gets an operator to name every building on the strip in the area, and when he name drops the warehouse, it clicks that that's where they discovered the body. So all the cops swarm this warehouse, but only Jack, Gordon, and two pigs go inside. Of course, the door magically shuts behind them, right? So they start getting Scooby-Doo scared and approach all the coffins, finding a body right as Bobby jumps out in full vampire mode. But then two others appear, and another, then two more.
Girl.
And now they're surrounded. One of the cops start wasting his bullets till a bloodsucker jumps on him. Jack's about to save his homie, but Gordon has to play hashtag save the white man. Yeah, Officer Johnson is dead. Fire the makeup artists and whoever is responsible for these wigs. This is unacceptable. No, this is unacceptable. Gordon directs Jack to pick up the lamps and chucks them. They all burst into flames and one by one, all the undead fully die. But oh wait, the cops are now bloodsuckers and Jack freezes when he sees his brother with fangs in his mouth. So what does Gordon do? Say it with me. Say it with me as if this is Dora the Explorer. Save the white man! Snatching the lamp from Jack and chucking it, lighting the cop on fire. More vampires come out and Gordon kills every single one of them while Jack is just standing there useless. Then the men run for the door and close it, but uh-oh, Mama Walde's on the other side. He tells these bozos he moved his coffin, and after Gordon makes a smart comment about him killing Tina, Blacula lets Detective Negro know Tina's life means more than his own. But enough wasting time. This black prince has a rather urgent appointment elsewhere. He lifts his arms, turning into a bat, and flies away. Fly away, butterfly. Gordon and Michelle are bitching to Tina that she gotta leave this man alone because he's the reason all these people are dying.
I know.
I'm sorry, she's real, you know.
I'm designed to kill.
I don't care.
The whole block sealed off and a man on a megaphone tells the community to get their ass inside because a scary black man's afoot. Blacula watches all these cretins on the streets and calls for Tina through his frequency, which she hears while laying in bed.
Where? Tell me where.
A woman standing on a fire escape screams about a giant bat, so Gordon and the pigs jump because he's here. But Tina Snow isn't. She's already out the apartment, walking in a trance, and goes deep in the woods all the way towards a chemical processing plant. The only reason they know where Tina's at is because there's some cops who are cruising and they spot her. Tina's finally reunited with Mama Walde and he wraps her in his cape. But the embrace doesn't last long because the sirens start, going off. Ring the alarm. And they need to look for a hiding spot. When the plant starts getting raided by cops, Mama Walde finds one and chokes him out. It was at this point when I was watching and I was like, why are the cops wasting their bullets? We've established that there is supernatural activity happening here. But then I remembered only our main cast of characters know that. They're gonna sound crazy. They say that's a human. So as far as these cops know, they're hunting down some serial killer. A serial killer in a cape. Jack orders all of them to keep their eyes open for his coffin, and if they find the maniac, don't try to kill him. Oh, this next part is crazy. A cop finds the couple running. Look at this. Not only did you not follow your Lulu's orders, your lieutenant's orders, but this idiot closed his eyes and fired the gun. Mama Walde gives him a beatdown, slamming him on these poles, pounding his face. He starts calling Tina Luva again, saying he can't lose her again and she must forgive him. But this is the only way. She will be with him always. Mama Walde bites her neck, then goes full X Games mode and starts hollering for Detective Negro. He tells these mundanes, all your friends are dead. Not one man shall escape my vengeance. Not one man shall leave here alive. Search out every shadow. Search every corner. This will be your inglorious tomb. All of them are looking around confused because what the hell going on here? Oh my, these jokers aren't worth a damn, man. Blacula smacks them around, throws a guy down a flight of metal stairs, throws a barrel over the top level, knocking a cop out, yo. Another one lets our trio know that they found Blacula's coffin, so Gordon orders Michelle to wait back, as him and Jackoff approach it with their cross and wooden stick in hand. Oh, y'all have done it now. Michelle is screaming, no! Gordon has to grab her and give her to some officers, order them to take her out of here. And Michelle's screams coincide with her sister's screams, who is only seconds from going on to glory. Blacula appears behind them and tells them to move from his lover's body. My man can't have nothing. You know, at this point, I'ma just myself. What is left for this cursed creature? His only reason for living has been taken away. Speaking of taken away, this is taking me out. Gordon is just staring and Jack's looking around like, child, what are we gonna do? Gordon's about to pull out his cross, but Blacula says there's no need for that, as he floats away and stumbles up the staircase directly into the sunlight. With each step, the Black Prince's vision goes blurry until he drops on the ground. And when these stupid ass cops come up to the top level and pull his cape off, Mama Walde's whole face has melted and there are maggots all in his eye sockets. Oh! And we stare into this vision as the credits roll with this unsettling chime playing. What a somber, tragic film Blacula is. This isn't Dracula with an afro, but it's its own media, just so happening to feature a pop culture character, who is also the real villain here. Not these cops, but the centuries-old white vampire. Our chocolate prince just wanted to save his people from the Atlantic slave trade, and what did he get? A curse. An eternal life in the shadows with the loss of his princess. An 18th century leader waking up in 1970s LA, finding himself in the African diaspora. A man out of his time, surrounded by the descendants of the very people he was trying to protect. I love films where we follow a character who is plucked out of their timeline and put into the future. It's very interesting to witness, even though, you know, we don't even really go deep into that aspect here. We don't see Mama Walde trying on 70s clothes, picking his hair out, talking jive, accustoming to the decade. He just floats and struts through these streets in that cape that he found by his coffin. And you know who else was strutting in this damn movie? Tina. Ever since she popped out in that purple cloak like some sorcerer. Hey look, I called her Raven from Titans. Yeah, I knew. Aside of the obvious resemblance to Luva, whatever, it's the same actress, but aside of that, that was definitely strike one to separate her from Michelle and Gordon. The Dark Prince had his mouth watering. That blue outfit with the purple crop top, serve. The dress with the patterns that look like a cheer gown, camp. Michelle's green top with the red nails, fab. Her golden cotton dress, well, yes. Now, I don't know what the hell, again, I don't know what they had her wearing during the graveyard digging scene, or during the finale, bro. What the f was that? I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that one. Unlike the predatory Dracula, Mama Walde in some odd way can be considered a tragic hero. Although under standards, he's still a monster for what he has to do to keep living, draining lives. But come on, man, my bro woke up a century later. He's thirsty. And yeah, I know his creations went on to do more damage, but Mama Walde isn't seeking out carnage and victims. He wants to find his lost love. A component that really clung to me this particular screening was this agency and consent Mama Walde valued. He tells Tina, I'm not going to take you by force. You must come to me freely. He does chase after her to return her belongings and show his interest and curiosity, but ultimately stays only because Tina asks him to. That love was damn near more his lifeline than human blood was, and the choice for him to exercise the ultimate autonomy to kill himself after his beauty is murdered, it says a lot. He could have shrugged and said, on to the next, going into a depression, but he didn't.
My lovely, lovely Tina, what is left for this cursed creature? His only reason for living has been taken away.
There's something so Romeo and Juliet about it. And you know what this story also reminds me of? I'm ready. I'm ready for the commentary. You know, you might not comment it, but I know you're thinking it. I know I constantly mention this horror film because I'm sorry, like it's one of the best. I hate to say it. It's one of my earliest videos. I'm always referencing it. Candyman from 1992. The influence is there. That is a gothic romance. The haunted, doomed melodrama. Daniel Robitaille sought out his past lover Caroline and found it in the character of Helen, who resembled her. Now through that film, we follow the woman who kept sending for this dark man by investigating further into his urban legend. Both Blacula and Candyman transplant the foggy moors and crumbling castles for the black urban landscape. And not to compare, but if we were talking which is more gothic, I would say Candyman.
The pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite.
The score in that film is phenomenal. The choir, the organs. Oh. However, Blacula swaps the hammer horror and violence for funk and soul music, leaning more into the decade that we are in. I really need to get into gothic romance, gothic horror, all of that, so much more. I really dig how that subgenre leans into the ancestors and the lineage, the drama, the contrasts, the dark castles and surroundings, and the secrecy. It hits something. My brother recently watched Only Lovers Left Alive and is desperately trying to get me to watch it with him. Rebecca from 1940, Alfred Hitchcock. That's another one that's very high on my list. The Shape of Water, I've only seen that once. Gorgeous film. And of course the go-to gothic film is Crimson Peak. I think that's what everyone thinks of when you say that subgenre. I'd only seen it once, but those costumes and that set design was nasty. That's my favorite color, by the way, crimson. The OG Phantom of the Opera has been on my radar for quite some time as well. I haven't fully tried to investigate it, but my Pisces is in Venus.
What does that have to do with anything, bitch?
Look, if you're not into astrology and you don't know what that means, I think astrology is fun, and as far as I know, Venus represents how you love. And with Pisces being one, I don't even want to say one up, y'all are the most emotional sign. With them being the most emotionally sensitive of all of the signs, it's very confusing to me, with my big three all being under Aquarius. And I bring astrology up because as I get older, I start to feel this hopeless romantic pour out of me. And this gothic romance subgenre, it checks out for me. It blends the romance and the horror, mystery, foreboding atmosphere, intense emotion, castles, supernatural elements. I should be eating this up, no? What little I know of traditional vampire lore is that more times than not, the hunters are framed as the undisputed heroes. The police and its investigators are Van Helsing. They are direct representatives of a system that marginalizes black communities. Gordon's running around that third act with his useless bestie who is just frozen in place, having to play what? Oh, say it again with me, y'all. Save the white man! No. Why didn't I say this? And the one time that he was useful was when he killed Tina! They killed Radio Raheem! I wouldn't say the film's rooting for these cops though. We're not told to feel sympathy for them. We should be rooting for Mama Walde, the man who just wants his baby back. Been around the world and I can't find my baby. Gordon gets more screen time than Mama Walde, and this still doesn't feel like his story, and I don't think it's meant to be. Resonant to many aspects of life, the controversial blaxploitation genre splits audiences into two halves. One sees them as exploitative, and the other sees them as fun and empowering. William Marshall famously insisted on Mama Walde's dignified African backstory, refusing to play a caricature. Before Blacula, most blaxploitation films were crime dramas, but this film proved you could take a gothic romance, arguably the most European genre imaginable, and transplant that into a 70s black experience. So I close this essay out with paying respect to this piece of black film history. It's simply incongruous to discuss black horror and disregard Blacula, you know, whether you enjoy it or not. that it was one of the earliest pieces we had, coming behind Night of the Living Dead, which showed us the first black protagonist in the horror genre. A hero, not the help or a shaman, but a complex, tragic figure. Mama Walde was another early figure who paved the way for Ganja and Hess, for Candyman, for Vampire in Brooklyn, for Get Out, and will be for much more to come. What are your thoughts on William Crane's 1972 film Blacula? Drop your take down below. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I would love to have you. It would be my pleasure. Give your man a like. It helps me out a lot for the algorithm. And turn on that bell notification so you don't miss a new video. Now that you've tasted the way that I orchestrate my videos, you should consider joining my Patreon. If you want to see the director's cut version of this video and some of my others, head over there and join the family. As I said, fully uncensored, extended videos, and you also get to see them 24 to 48 hours before they hit YouTube. Oh, and you also help me pick one video a month. In the meantime, my friends, take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your spirit.